Hey, welcome to Analytics for All. In today's lesson, we're going to create a table in SQL using a MySQL instance. As always, you'll find a full write-up for this on my website, analyticsforall.org. I'll leave a link to this webpage down in the description. Okay, here's our SQL instance, our MySQL instance. We're going to be using this DB test database, and we're going to create a new table. You can see there's already some tables in there, but we're going to add a new one. The first thing we need to do is to let the SQL Workbench know which table or which database we want to work with. As you can see, I have a few databases down here. So it's very simple. You just type in use, the name of the database, semicolon, and keep in mind that unless somebody is intentionally going to the settings and mess with it, most SQL instances are not case sensitive. So it doesn't matter if you want to use uppercase, lowercase. I know some people are really kind of sticklers about using uppercase on code words and keywords, but I'm not really. So, but we want to create an employee table. So the table is going to be called employee, and it's going to have three columns: an ID, a name, and a date of birth. And what we're doing here is falls under what's known as DDL, or Data Definition Language. I've got a write-up on data definition language on my website. I'll also put a link down in the description if you want to know the difference between DDL and DML. You'll see them pop up a lot. I know it sometimes confuses people first learning SQL, but I got a quick write-up. It's not that complicated. Uh, what DDL mainly does is you create things. You create objects like tables. You create views. You create things that you can store and place data so you can use it later. So that's data definition language. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be using the create function. Okay, create's the main thing we're using. Also, we're going to be looking at the different types of data types found in, since we're using MySQL, we'll focus on that, the main types of data types found in MySQL. Let's take a quick look. I have that on my website. Again, I'll put a link to this down in the description as well, but if you go to my site, you go to SQL, Languages, SQL, it'll take you to the main SQL page. You scroll down to the DDL and DML. Here's your what is DDL, what is DML, and this one is your common data types in MySQL. So we can scroll down here and look, and here's the main data types. We have char, varchar, integers, doubles, booleans. You can read through this, but we're going to be using, for this instance, we're going to be using varchar for the name, we're using integer for the ID, and we're using date. Just going to give us nothing but a date for the birth date, okay? And again, I'll place these links down in the description. Let's go back to our SQL database. Okay, so to create, let's go ahead and get rid of this. The syntax is very simple. It's create table, give the table a name. We'll call it employee, and then as. And now we open up parentheses. And you could do this all in one line if you want, but habit has always taught me over years. I just open them up like that and go to the next line. Again, SQL is not, it's not like Python. There's no case, not case sensitive, and it also doesn't have space sensitivity like Python has indentions. So anyway, we'll go here. We'll start with the first, then we create the table, give it the name, and we want to tell what columns we want in there. So first column we want is ID, and it's going to be just an ID number. So an integer is fine, int. Okay. Next, put a comma in there. Next will be employee, and this will be a varchar. And this is the size of the varchar. You could go max, you could go, but I'd be surprised. I've seen some big names, but I'd be surprised you have a name that has more than 255 characters, but that's what we'll put in there. Again, place your comma, and the final one will be date of birth, and this will be a date. Okay. And I see we're getting a little error thing here. Okay, you know what? This is not needed here. This is from SQL Server. It's a problem dealing with multiple functions. If you're in SQL Server, you want to put this as here. We can remove it. It's not needed. Notice our little error goes away. So now get it together and just run this. And if we look, go over here now, it doesn't pop up right away. If you go down and refresh, and now you'll see there's your table. Employee, here's your columns. All right, thanks a lot. If you like this, hit the like button, subscribe. Give me some comments. Tell me what you'd like to cover also. I'm going to go through a bunch of building out databases here on this on the page. So let me know. Thank you for listening and check out my website.